Hey everybody, and what movie did you stream this weekend? Well, I probably streamed the exact same thing that you all did. However, I wanted this review to wait till today because I wanted my opinion to marinate, so to speak. I'm going to be talking about the newest Texas Chainsaw Massacre that's currently streaming on Netflix. So this is yet another Texas Chainsaw film that's going to retcon the sequels and continue from where the original film left off. Similar to what they did with Texas Chainsaw 3D a few years back, and sort of copying the formula for Halloween 2018. So like I said, I wanted my opinion to marinate because I actually wanted this review to be fair, because sure, I could rip this movie apart very easily just because I've seen so many movies. But I'm also going to be pointing out things that I really enjoyed about the film before I go into it. So after the events of the first film, like the trailer said, Leatherface disappeared for about 50 years or so in a not too far town in Texas. Survivor Sally also did the exact same thing. However, after 50 years and a lot like other places in the US, a bunch of hipsters and influencers are trying to buy up the town and raise the market and make their own utopia. However, Leatherface, Bubba, Jr., whatever name he goes by these days, not very happy about this, and he basically takes revenge on these hipsters. I will be honest, I was not really excited about this movie because I feel like this franchise is very flawed. I feel like there's only maybe one or two decent ones in there, and I feel like the last couple in the last few years have not been very good. Plus, someone had posted that they went to a screening maybe about a year ago, and they kind of just said it was ripping off Halloween 2018, and it was just very cringeworthy. There were stories about directors leaving because of creative differences, and a new team had to come in and fix the movie. And that's always a bad sign. But Netflix bought it, and I was kind of like, ooh, that might be another bad sign too, but I'm gonna watch it anyways because I have Netflix. However, after seeing the trailer to the movie, I was more skeptical because I was like, oop, that person that posted that video might be actually 100% correct. But enough about that. I'm going to be talking about the real star of this movie. It wasn't Leatherface, and it wasn't the cast, and it wasn't Sally. The star of this movie was actually the cinematographer. The cinematographer for this movie, I felt like saved the movie. The entire movie was so well shot and so well lit. By these shots alone, it felt like this was a bigger budget movie. I'm not gonna lie though, this shot did make me laugh because it made me think of something else with great cinematography. It literally made me think of this scene from Toys. For me, it was the cinematography, the carnage, and that very last scene at the end of the movie. What I didn't like was the Sally Hardesty story. And unfortunately, since she was recasted because the original actress passed away, it honestly didn't feel special at all because it wasn't the original actress. Plus, I felt like the character was disserviced in this film. I felt like since the character was so disserviced, I was even thinking since she's already barely in the movie, cut her out completely. Since she was the only real tie-in to the original movie other than Leatherface, this movie could have been a sequel to part 2. And since she's still alive and still acting, I would have liked to see Stretch come back. I felt like seeing her in the franchise again would carry a lot more weight. And hell, since the timelines are all over the place with this franchise, why not bring Benny back? He was always a favorite. Hell, I would have loved to see the real hero of the original film come back. Where the hell has this guy been up to? I also had a really hard time believing that this was the exact same Leatherface from the original movie, because to me, Leatherface in the first 2 Texas Chainsaw Massacres felt relatively consistent, and he always kind of felt like Curly from the Three Stooges with a chainsaw and an intent to kill people. This Leatherface just felt like the one from the reboot. Next thing I'm going to mention is like a 2-parter because I feel like these things kind of go hand in hand. So 90% of the movie takes place in this dying town where all these influencers are going to take over. And to me, it felt like this was just a backlot somewhere. It did not feel real at all. And it also made me think of wasted potential because original director Tobe Hooper did have an idea for a sequel where not just the Sawyer family, but the entire town were full of cannibals. Because the Sawyer family as a whole seems a lot more scary to me. Because the film could be kind of like a whodunit, who's in on it kind of a thing. Since the characters were nothing to write home about, at least we could have had creepy characters to laugh at. Like a lot of movies, there's a lot of themes and messages in here. However, any good movie will know that you don't stop and take a pause and look at the camera to give your message. We have a character that's very anti-gun, but you know what she's going to be saying at the end of the movie.
War. It's fantastic.
I'm not going to give this movie a grade because I felt like it was so uneven and so all over the place that it doesn't really deserve one. But if I was going to give anybody a grade, I would give the cinematographer an A. And I'm going to give Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 a meh. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you like what you see here. Hopefully my review was nice and fair. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and I'll see you at the movies.
Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.